Hi, I'm Rick Falco. I'm a photographer with Black Star. I've been a photographer and journalist for about 20 something years. I've done a lot of assignments around the world, but this particular day was a very different assignment for me. I was actually at home when the planes hit and was not even in the city. I, like everyone else, saw the first glimpse when I looked at TV. My immediate reaction at that point was really to get down there, to get down there and do kind of what I do. The first day was difficult because the city was cut off and we couldn't get in. By early the next morning, I'd found out that police were allowing access for press through a special route in. I was able to get in, got downtown, and began making my way to Ground Zero. The first day there, it was very difficult because there was such chaos, such anarchy. Police were being very difficult with press, and just the general insanity of the moment. I could not get in because we were barred at that point. However, as evening approached, I was able, with a colleague of mine, to disguise myself because we had all at that point had helmets, masks because the smoke was so terrible, and used the kind of chaos and the night as a means for making a way down into the site and reach Ground Zero as almost darkness was falling. The scene was not like anything I'd ever seen, and I've photographed disaster in other parts of the world and even some here, but nothing like this. It was quite a surreal moment. After the initial shock of watching for a while, I began to let maybe the professional part of me take over and began to shoot. Though that was difficult because police at the time were also confiscating cameras, throwing us off the site, not allowing press to move about. So I had to constantly watch that I wouldn't be caught, and in addition to that, try to do my work. I spent much of the evening shooting there. Finally, at the end, I was caught by police and escorted off-site. At that point, I had to get back, get my film in, began processing. However, the next day, I knew that the only way to get in was going to be to kind of figure out a way without using my credentials to get in. Dawn came, again, took advantage of the chaos and kind of disguised myself, hid my cameras, again, made my way into Ground Zero and continued my work. About the incident, that's hard to say. It's a million emotions all at once. It became very personal, I think, because it was my home. It became something that was connected directly to who I was and what I did in a way that no other work I've done before has connected me. The images, I hope in some way that they represent some aspect of history that could be looked at, held, maybe create a sense of awareness, sense of what happened at that time. I think we as journalists have not just a job, but certainly a calling and a mission, and that's what brings us to what we do. I think we need to share that not just with those around us, such as our local places, but also the world and future generations. That, I think, is why we do what we do. Our means or our goal is to, and certainly in one sense, represent a witness to our times. I know I teach a class where that is the title, and I know more than ever how important that was. Just to be there, just to gather those images so that I could show them, to show people what happened, to make them aware of what went on. There were many emotions there, and one, I think when you're working, you become a professional, you focus, you do what you need to do. I think it's in the silent moments that you realize the effects of this complete insanity, and have to find means in which to deal with those on a more personal level. I remember being in there, and for days and days there was just smoke upon smoke, and people from all over just trying to reach out and help. That's, I think, was the thing that gave you strength. That what you saw is no matter how horrible the situation was, that you had people from every walk coming down there to try to help. Construction workers, fire, all of them, just trying to lend a hand, to reach out in this insanity, to try to change it or try to make it a little better. And I think that gave me a great sense of humanity in terms of who we are and what we do here on this, in this life, and what we need to do more. Hopefully those effects will carry over. In another sense, there's this aspect of what was going on there. I think immediately most of us who got in and began to shoot realized immediately it was no longer a rescue situation, that what we were photographing was a mass grave, and that what we were doing was to somehow to hold these images in a way that, again, that we can pass them on and try to be respectful in that manner, in a way that did justice to those who tried to help, who were down there, the construction people and fire, to the people who unfortunately died in this tragedy. Hopefully some of my images will do that. I just want to be able to touch people, affect them, make them understand what is. I think the shame is that I think today is that what we find is that journalism has taken many different paths, not necessarily the best ones. And the serious journalists don't have the ability to do this work. Which I think has a great calling and a great need in our society. And I hope that in some way that the images that came out and the response that people are getting just from here as New York will show people the importance of this work, and so that more of it can be done, not just here in the States, but all around the world. Awareness is the key to everything we do in life, and I think the importance and knowledge that we carry with this awareness is how we make decisions about our lives, and how we carry on, how we are a civilization, and how we define ourselves as a culture. And I think both from a historical, sociological, even a psychological point of view, is the art and the images of our times that we pass on, that say who we are and what we believed and what we did, and give that to the next generation. You realize that you can't touch everyone. You realize that you can make small effects. That you can maybe touch people in a way that doesn't initiate a revolution but begins an evolution. I want the images to serve as sort of a catalyst for change, catalyst for social awareness. This is what I think us photojournalists do when we can do our serious work. This was my goal. I know it was a lot of my colleagues as well, who I think were as determined as I to do their job, to do what it is they do. I'm rambling and not sure where else to go, and then with that I will stop. Again, I think what we have is one of those monumental moments. I, who am a little older than my other colleagues, will use this as one of those defining days in our lives, similar to the day in which Kennedy died. I think those of us who were alive then all knew what we were doing at that moment, all knew who we were. There was a sense of awareness. I still, at this point, can remember standing in front of a TV with my mother and father and saluting the Kennedy casket as it went by on the TV. I think this moment, this September 11th moment, will also be that same kind of thing that we, as a people, will hold. It'll be remembered. It'll be carried. And every one of us who is alive today will know what we were doing at that time. And that's history. And that's how we will define who we are. Thank you.